All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do the typical sound and video check. How's everybody doing? How are you, Coach Jay? Can you hear me? Everything's good?
Doing good, Dakota. How are you? Sounds good to me. Looks good over here as well. What's going on?
Man, it's another crazy day in the market. Yeah. How was your trading? Did you trade today?
Traded very little today. Traded very little. Did take in a personal account. Took some micro Nasdaq longs. Traded on TopstepTV in this 50K combine that we were just talking in the green room. That we're testing some things for Topstep right now. So trading this 50K combine. But outside of that, didn't do too much. Didn't do too much. How about you? Saw on
Um,
Twitter that you had a pretty big day, my man.
yeah, last night was pretty dang interesting. Yeah, with the election, with everything going on, you'd laugh on the order that I ended up placing. Yeah, no live account, no live account in terms of trading during the presidential election, but I ended up having two trades. Right before I went to bed, I had a pending order to short if we broke through. Let me switch it to my chart. Let me get this through. There was two trades, and that's all it really took. Before I went to bed, we had a lot of consolidation here, and I had a sell stop, and that hit my take profit instantly, and triggered me into a long. I was ending up, taking a long down here. Closed it right back up to. I didn't hold it overnight, but I ended up, closing out a little bit early, and that was my day. I didn't really trade the rest of the day. I slept in, I relaxed, and hands free for me. I was on Power Hour with David Green. Didn't trade that. We were all just, continuing to push higher, higher, and higher. There was nothing. There was no setup. There was no signal. It was just nothing. In terms of the way that I trade, especially in a market like this, is when you keep going up and it doesn't really give you a decent pullback to get long.
Right. It's
I
just
mean,
rallying.
yeah, I think we're seeing it right now. That could have been obviously now with hindsight that was a pullback to get long, and here we are pushing the highs. I seen you're in a trade, or what are you looking at?
Yep. I'm in a short right now, short a couple micros. It's maybe a trade that gets stopped out trading on this combine, but have a 30-minute opening range here from the Globex Open. VWAP is leaving the range to the downside. So just looking to see if we get some continuation, risking a new high on the day, and we'll see what happens from there.
Risking the high. What other markets are you looking at, thinking about as we go through this? Let me go ahead and put the top step risk disclosure. Everybody knows this is not a signals class. Everything that we say and talk about is for educational purposes only. Let's just go through our regular, rapid fire. If you want to kick it off with what you're seeing on the NASDAQ, and if I see anything, I'll throw it in there as well. And then we'll continue through our regular crude oil, the Nikkei. Nikkei's on a move, and then gold. Gold's on the move as well. Gold's selling off.
Yeah, I think gold is probably one of the most interesting markets right now. The Nasdaq, the S&Ps, these are markets that are just in an uptrend. Am I fighting the trend right now? Potentially looking for just a little bit of a pullback, maybe to 850s on this trade. But I think gold is one of the most interesting markets right now, right? We saw it make the run of the year up to 2,800, about a 150 point sell off today, and
Oh
looking
my.
like there's potential continuation. There was news that the dollar had the strongest day since 2022 after the election, and that's negative for gold, right? And I think that's the sell-off that we're seeing. If we look at a daily chart in gold, we have this 50-day moving average. We're kind of selling off below it right now. Am I ready to say that the trend in gold for the year is over? Probably not, but things changed after the election results today. So we could be seeing something different in gold.
Yeah, yes. A lot of things changed. We've had a lot of money move, switch hands, switch places, rotate. And not only that, we have FOMC tomorrow. And so it's kind of just done with one big major event that's going to affect the next 4 years. and on to the next, which is going to be another major event for this market. And so we're seeing gold sell off. We're talking about these other markets as well. Crude oil has been very volatile. I don't know if you've traded. I seen you guys had a house account trade actually. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So that was a trade that I thought we should put on. Crude kind of rallied. We missed the rally while we were trading the Nasdaq, but a little bit same kind of trade that I'm looking for in the Nasdaq right now. Just a little bit of a reversion, kind of in this, if you could even call this like a flag. But we tested up towards some Topstep daily levels that we have up here. It was yesterday's high. When we rejected up there, just took a quick short down to the kind of base of this this high volume here.
Okay. I see that. And it looks like we almost filled that gap too, right? From Sunday. We filled like what? Almost 75% of that gap. And then
we filled most of it.
Bounced, $2, almost $3 off of that. I'm still hands off for crude oil, Coach Jay. It's been a little bit too crazy for me with these gaps and not as clean of market structure. If we go to my charts, we had that huge gap last Sunday. Then we had another gap this past Sunday. And if anything, I'm bullish because we are making higher lows. So maybe we can break through the highs that we just made, break through 72.60s and make a run to the highs that we were at the beginning of October, around $75 a barrel. So that is the way I'm seeing crude oil, is bullish to see if we get to $75 a barrel. But one thing that is in the back of my head, and I don't trade off of this, but I know I watch politics. I watch everything. I try and stay on top of everything that's going on in the markets. There was conversation that if Trump was elected, and they would possibly be looking at opening up, more production of oil here in the United States. And so I don't know what that looks like. I don't trade based off of that, but I'm just curious to see how that's going to look. I was thinking that maybe
drill baby drill is one of his taglines, isn't it?
Something like that. I don't know, but that would make sense. And so I was like, well, maybe crude oil is going to be selling off. And you've seen that crude oil was actually selling off until this morning during the New York session. We got that rebound. So I'm just not sure how to trade crude oil at the moment, other than this very basic technical analysis that is what I trade. But I'm a little bit hesitant to be playing around in the crude oil market outside of looking for buys and looking for us to break through 72.60s. I'm going to leave crude oil alone for now, and let's watch gold. Like you said, look at this gold market. We've been we just went through your charts, but we hit $2,800 and it's been down, consolidation, and a major sell-off. We're down at 26.56, and how far can we see this market go? Maybe we could come down and test these 20s, these 25s, 26s. Like you said, we are continuing to sell off. If we look at a higher time frame like the daily, maybe this is just a dip to buy. We've had decent sell-offs before. The question that we're always, that one question, this time's different. Well, maybe it is, because the election can be a major event.
Yep.
I don't know. It's hard for me to say this time's different. That's all it is for me, is maybe looking for buying opportunities if we get down to these 26.20s. If not, maybe we get a pullback up to a previous high, which is going to be around these 2,700, and then look for a short and a continuation down lower, something like that. This is a daily chart, of course, and anything can happen. We have FOMC tomorrow. I think the best thing to do is be patient, wait, and let's see what FOMC brings us.
Yeah, I think so. Like you said, it's hard to say this time is different. We've seen this before. You don't want to overreact. Yeah, we did get a 3% sell-off, but this market has been in an uptrend the entire year. At some point, someone's going to take profits, and what better time to do it during what could be the most volatile week of the year?
Yes. It is the most volatile. This is one of the biggest days that we've had in the markets for a while, since like the beginning of August.
July.
When, yeah, it's been absolutely insane. Let's get to a couple questions. We'll watch these markets. Shout out anybody if something's moving. Let's talk about Nikkei real quick. I forgot about that. I was looking for a trade here on the Nikkei, but if we look at the hourly,
we're on my charts, but I can pull it up.
There we go. So on my charts, take a look at this hourly. Man, last night we were just going straight up, just like the rest of the markets. We hit 40. We blew through 40,000. We hit 40,200, and we sold off. And I hate saying this every single night. There was a nice buying opportunity, either at this pivot or this pivot. It's a zone right around 39,000, basically 100 to 39,200. Maybe, I could see that there was some opportunities to buy it possibly there. That would have taken a loss, but a lot of buyers stepped in. We went all the way down to 39,090s, and maybe we could get a nice move back up towards 39,800s. I mean, bare minimum, maybe 39,500s, but this is a bullish. I think this is a buy the dip opportunity here in the Nikkei, and all signs are like I said, it's hard to say this time's different. This is a bullish market in my opinion, and yeah, there's definitely some opportunities to be long the Nikkei.
Yeah, I can see that as well. We're above the 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart. It looks like it's starting to break out and start to trend. We rejected kind of hard above 40,000, but
yeah, I'm not sure. That was tonight too. That was of the past 2 hours. We sold off from 40,175 all the way down there. Man, that's almost that is
a big move in the Nikkei.
That's $1,000 divided that by 5. That's 200 ticks. That's huge. That's huge tonight. Just the past 2 hours. Was there a news? That's 200. Yeah, that's $5,000 per contract. I think you lost your mic.
Yep, you should be able to hear me now. I thought I did see some Japanese news on the calendar. Not seeing it here now. But Japan's 10-year bond yield increases to 1%, the highest level since August. That could have something to do with it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well that's the answer. But yeah, that did present a beautiful opportunity for someone that was looking to buy this dip. Let me take a look at the 2-year note. That's been something that's been on my mind, is of course, interest rates. It was kind of funny last night, Coach Jay, where the markets were just going straight up, and then we was watching the 2-year note, and basically the interest rates go up, and the 2-year note just completely sold off while everything else was moving. However, we kind of stabilized here, and might start to rally up. I don't trade this very often. I like to watch it because this is basically interest rates, correct? Watching the 2-year note, and just short term, obviously 2 years. And tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow's going to be a big day for the market. It's just very curious to see, interest rates going down or interest rates going up. Obviously, notes going down, bonds going down. And then the equities doing exactly what we've seen it do. And that is just straight up.
Do we think we get a surprise cut tomorrow? Do we get more than 25 basis points?
Do we get a hike? I don't know. No, I think it's going to be the good boring at 25 basis points and not a big surprise. If anything, and I'm looking at this from a higher time frame, and looking at, let's take a look at the NASDAQ of where we can go. So I think it's the funniest thing. First off is every single time we have a day or 2 days like we did on October 30th and October 31st,
Yep.
and I don't know if it was you I was talking about or if I was talking about it on Fast Markets or Topstep TV during the day show, but it's always funny seeing, because now I'm on social media more. I'm on Twitter, and I've been posting that. You've seen I posted that on on Twitter as well. Look, and we're already getting trolls in here. So I posted on Twitter as well, and every time there is any negative like 2 or 3 days in a row, like how crazy social media is with people saying, I told you so. This market's selling off. We're going down. We're going down. And time again, the markets continue to prove so many people wrong. And, here we are. This is a daily chart. And we officially made a higher low. We made a higher low yesterday. And today we just broke through absolutely any resistance that was holding this market down. And if we looked where we was making all-time highs here in July on this contract, there was a little bit of resistance, basically where we are at now. And then the next stop for us is going to be right here in those 21,000, maybe 21,200. And yeah.
What's all-time high right now?
Air horns.
215, right? All-time high is 215?
Based on this based off of this contract. Yes. Yep.
Nope, it's actually high. Yeah, 215.
Yeah, so we're not far away from that. We could see it tomorrow, to be honest. That's would it surprise me?
Yeah.
No.
We're less than 2% away. That could we're less than 1.5% away. That could very easily happen tomorrow.
It could happen during FOMC.
Right now.
It could happen overnight, man. That's
it
the way this market is going. It can happen overnight. But I think it's just so interesting, and this is one of the reasons why I love the markets, is the sentiment and what you see and what people are talking about changes so fast. One day, we're selling off. We might go make a run at the lows of September. The next day, hey, we're looking at all-time highs. And so...
Yep. I think that's why it's important, especially if you're day trading, right? If you're investing, if you're swing trading, it's a little, you have a little bit more room to have an opinion about where things are going. And if you're looking at the equities, they kind of just go up and to the right. But I think it is kind of dangerous to overreact to a day trade, where we did have that day, on last Thursday, right? I came in as a bear on Topstep TV. And it was a great short for that day. But outside of that, I came in today. I don't want to sell this, and I'm in a short right now, so maybe I'm contradicting myself. But, day to day, the markets change. And over time, they're going up and to the right. But, if you get a good day trade short, just look at the charts. There aren't many, outside of August, July into August, there aren't many real opportunities for bears, real, more than a couple of days.
Correct. Yeah, there's a major difference between swing trading, longer term trading, and then what we're doing here. And that's what you said, day trading. I mean, the amount of opportunities to hold shorter positions for more than a day is not very there. I mean, maybe that's just why I'm so bullish and biased to the long side, but that's the beauty about what we do is I love to look at the daily. Don't get me wrong. How much time do I spend looking at this? Not very long. Most of my time is spent right here on this 1 hour chart and lower. So it's 1 hour, 5 minute, and then of course 1 minute, 100 tick chart. But that's the beautiful thing. I mean, there was opportunities to make money selling this market where maybe there was that opportunity. I made money last night on that quick short, and it happened in a minute, Coach Jay. I looked at the market.
Hold on, Dakota. I'm sorry, Max. I see you in the chat. You want to talk about the Dow? The Dow is making new all-time highs. Where's it going? 44,000. There you go. Go ahead, Dakota. Keep going.
We got, man, what's going on tonight? Lots of spammers. But anyway, yeah, there are opportunities in both directions. There's always going to be opportunities in both directions. It's a little bit harder in a day like today. But yeah, that 100-point move just happened instantly. Then there's another, 100-point move that happened right during the New York or the London session. I mean, there's decent opportunities for the short side, but not as much. When the market's trending like this, it's very hard to find opportunities counter trend. And it's the same for the long. When the market's selling off, it's hard to find opportunities to the short side or the long side. So that's one thing that I absolutely love about us and what we could do here, day trading. And just trying to go into the day without a bias is very, very hard. It really is, because now what's going to happen is tomorrow we're going to be going into FOMC, and we're going to be going into tomorrow's trading day with today's PTSD for anybody who is trying to short it and think, man, this market's just going to keep going up and up and up. It happened. That's how it was, the beginning of July and most of the spring was everyone was just kind of programmed or PTSD trying to short this market. And they just said, hey, I'm never shorting this market again. And things change very, very quick. Let's switch back to
yes, they do.
Let me hit this first real quick, Jay. So just so you guys know, all day this week and every day this week, I don't know, how much do you know about this, Coach Jay? I know you are a coach for one of the VIP, and that's been absolutely amazing. I've committed myself, probably going to be, in January is when I'm going to be diving more in depth in the VIP session. But this is the one. I've been talking about it every week. Stay tuned, everybody. And I know that's what a lot of traders are waiting for. So we see some volatility right at 8 p.m. But, watch the YouTube chat around 8 p.m. There's going to be a link for the check-in. Talked about it last night. Been talking about it every single night. It's a 2-hour Q&A session on Wednesday, and then we'll do a follow-up session the following week. But it's only for 20 traders, so it's going to be more exclusive, and we're going to be able to get through a lot more than just a regular slow markets. And then plus the follow-up session is very nice as well. But I have a question for you. And as we watch these markets, and as these markets are moving, and we have thousands and thousands of traders, tens of thousands of traders here at Topstep. As a coach, since you've been a coach for the VIP session, how have you found the best way to coach? And I know, like, me and you are very, very young compared to some of the other amazing coaches like, Paul and Jack and Hogue. But there's always that conversation. I talked about it either last night or the night before of how should a teacher or how should a coach be when it comes to a trader, like the carrot or the stick, or how are you viewing this?
So for me, my approach, and I took the same approach with, coaching basketball players also, it's find out what they are comfortable with, right? Find out what the trader is trying to do, and then help them do that to the best of their abilities, right? So we have some traders that say they like to hold, trades for 4 hours. We have other traders that say that they like to scalp for a couple of points. And knowing that there's a way for both of those to work as a coach, and then trying to guide the trader to do those things is my approach, right? I don't want anyone to try to trade like me. I don't want anyone to do anything that they're not, personally comfortable with. I can give ideas for, hey, I think this could work. I think you may have some difficulties with this, but ultimately everyone has to see the markets in their own way. So trying to get the trader to one, say what it is pretty clearly, what they're trying to do, and then hold them accountable to doing that thing.
Is there any discipline? Or do you feel like the market just does all the discipline for you?
Go ahead. There is some discipline. We've talked in my VIPs about setting personal daily loss limits and things like that, and sticking to it, and it being a difficult thing. Everyone's an adult as well, so like, can I make people run lines like I would do a basketball player, or like right, like do some push-ups if you don't do what we say? Not necessarily. Maybe I can implement something like that, but I think more so, hey, saying, make a promise, make a commitment to yourself, and regardless of what the results are, hold yourself to that commitment. more than anything. What would you said discipline? What would you be thinking along
Um,
those lines?
so okay, so here's this. Okay, and I think I'm going to be doing it a little bit more for my slow markets class when we review like trader statistics. And yeah, let's do some trader statistics tonight near the end of class. So everybody in the chat, if you'd like Coach Jay and I to review your trader statistics, you just put your statistics link in to the Discord. So in Topstep Discord, I have a channel, Coach Dakota, and if you would like us to review your statistics, post them there. But what I am thinking of, right? Because it's hard because I'm typically on the younger end for a lot of traders, and like how would this is completely like LeBron James, right? How would you coach LeBron James as a younger person? And like I'm looking at this as how can somebody coach another person who's much older than them?
Yeah.
I've always wondered that. And then, when we review statistics and we have that conversation and say I'm reviewing a trader's statistics and they're doing something, I'm like, okay, well, that's not good. You shouldn't be doing this. And then really try and get it in their head. Like, hey, looks like you are holding on to your winners. You need to stop that. That's the worst thing you do. Have that talk to them, or like, say you can't. I don't think just saying like, "Hey, you suck." That was a really stupid move.
Yeah, no,
by doing that.
I don't think that, and I honestly I don't see that being. I don't see age being an issue. I see some people saying it in the chat as well. We're talking about experience, right? Experience over age, and anyone who is coachable will, if they one, respect who the coach is, and the message is being delivered with the intent of improving you as a trader, then there's nothing that you can do but respect it. Right now, everyone's going to deliver that message differently. I've learned that as a coach as well, that you can't speak to everyone the same way. Some of my players I would have to yell at, and others you kind of have to coddle a little bit because of how they receive information. But at the end of the day, it's, hey, this is what you said you're trying to do, and this is what you're doing. Now, if we're not matching those two, then we have to talk about how we get there. But I think anyone who has the interest of improving at this is going to understand however a message is delivered, and hopefully take just the good side from it.
Yeah. So this is what I've seen in my experience, and so I'm curious on how yours is as well. And I want everybody in the chat, let me know, okay? Because it drives some people crazy when I tell them a brand new trader, and this is a hot take, is I have seen brand new traders, and one of the best traders I've ever worked with, she's a stay-at-home mom with kids, and she's never traded a day in her life. And she was able to become very consistent so much quicker than any trader I've ever worked with. And okay. I think it's like, as we're traders, typically, maybe there's that conversation like, guys are have more of an ego, or, the older you are, the more experience you have, maybe you have a lot more habits, and some of those habits that's been instilled, for so many years can be very difficult. I'm now on week number 2 of not drinking energy drinks, and it sucked. It really sucked. Versus someone who just started to say, hey, this is my first energy drink. It's easy to stop drinking energy drinks. What's your experience with that? Because I think it's more of like, bad habits die hard.
Yeah, I think, again, the one thing, I think you're talking a little bit about ego and things like that, and that's something that you have to deal with. There's been VIP sessions that we've had where I say something to a trader and they're just like, well, no, I like to do it this way. The great thing about trading, it's a numbers game. So I don't care what you decide to do or how you want to do something. If the numbers work for you, continue to do it. But if the numbers don't work, then there's a coachable opportunity there. And that's the way I look at it. So you could say you want to do whatever you want. You could say you want to, scalp 1,000 contracts in the MNQ a day to make your profits, and you're in trades for 15 seconds. If the numbers look good, then I'm going to shut up. I'm going to tell you what the potential downsides of it are. But if the numbers look good, fine. But if the numbers don't look good, then there's an opportunity for improvement.
Yeah, there's so many ways.
That's easy enough. Yep.
There's so many ways. We see it every single day whenever we view these statistics. There's so many ways to be profitable. There's no right or wrong way. But even traders that are profitable, we could go through their statistics, and hopefully that's what we're going to be able to do tonight, and say, hey, you're trading really well. However, just like watch out for this. And you're going to see some examples. I'm sure we'll see some of those examples as well. But it's right at 8 p.m. It's actually 8:01. Let's take a look at gold. Typically, we see a spike in volatility, and we're seeing gold bounce here a little bit, Coach Jay. You're still in that short NASDAQ. There's gold.
Yep.
Would you buy this?
Let's see. I like this 2650 area. Yeah, I don't see I actually think this is a pretty cheap long right here. We hit the 50-day moving average, which is the first time we've hit it since August. And we can see it acted as a support, maybe being a support right now as well.
Yeah.
On a short time. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's a hard time buying this too, though. Someone's saying, yes, I'm long gold. 2 people saying long's gold. Who's long? Who's long or short gold? Who's trading gold right now? Me?
We got a couple people.
Is this live? Not sure what you mean, Joel.
This is live, yes. We are live.
Yeah, maybe you're just saying that we're streaming live. Look at everybody saying long. No, couple shorts in there. Maybe I could run a poll. Let me see if I can just run a poll. Short NASDAQ. I'm curious on this one. Let's do this. I'm seeing a lot of traders in here that's long gold. I think I would be long gold as well. When we broke above 58.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm looking at a 30-minute. It's almost a 3-bar reversal on a 30-minute chart. I'm sure it looks like one on a shorter time frame as well. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that looks good. It looks good. We might run into this VWAP here at 2662.
Yeah, man, we're pushing now. We're pushing. There's an order for 60 contracts right there at 60.9. Let's switch to my chart.
Let us know in that poll if you are long or short gold, if you're trading it at all. Got 81 votes, 105 votes right now.
So far, 65. I would be vote. Yeah, man, I missed that long. Let's go through. All right, let's go through. I'm looking at some of these statistics, but we'll watch gold. Let's just see how traders are trading this. I'm going to close the poll in just a minute, but let's get to some questions, Coach Jay, and then we'll get to some of those statistics. And if these markets keep moving, we'll watch them, we'll talk about them. But I think it's just going to be another hands-off night to me. Maybe we'll talk about a slow markets trade going into tomorrow. I see a couple of them that are setting up pretty well for tonight. Let's go through. I got a couple questions for you, actually, Coach Jay.
Okay.
I don't trade level 2 data, but for you, is paying for level 2 data critical, in your opinion, to trading combines?
No, it's not critical. If you are going to use order flow in your trade analysis, then I think it's probably necessary. But if you are just trading level to level, then I don't think it's a necessity. I think it's a nice added benefit to have. I use it in all my trading, but that's just the way I learned how to trade. But I think I could do without it as well. There are other tools I could use. VWAP to kind of tell me what volume is doing. I look at level 2 data for some added confirmation. So not completely necessary.
And breaking news. I'm getting some news coming in now. Is that I've been teasing this the Q&A. So this is going to be coming out at 8:30 12:30. So in about 24 minutes, that check-in is going to be coming in. So, if you have somebody that's probably waiting for this check-in or whatever, tune in. So in about 24 minutes. Now remember, so for this, maybe I didn't explain this clear enough. The drawing is going to be this Monday. So we're going to be drawing for this on Monday. So this is the only time, the only opportunity that you have. The more you check in, the higher the probabilities are of you being on this. So, all right, gold's still going up. Get back to that, Coach Jay. I'm sorry.
Yep, there we are.
Man, gold's just running. 68.
You said you would be long above 58s. Why 58 specifically, Dakota?
Ooh, okay, yeah. Let's review this. So, I like to watch it on the 1 minute just because it's interesting. I don't trade it off the 1 minute, but take a look at this, right? This is purely on price action. If we look at the hourly chart and we kind of zoom out here, there was a decent level of support and resistance right at these 650s, and everything's a zone, and so it's very hard to say like, all right, this is the exact price. But it's like, okay, this can be a decent spot. If we get some type of reversal, then that could be a decent area to get in long. And then I zoom into a 5-minute chart, and then I look for some basic technical patterns. And the first technical pattern I typically look for, everybody knows, is a 3-bar reversal. And this is a pretty strong one where we went all the way down to 50, and then the reversal was at 57.7. Not only that, there's a few areas like we tried and hovered. This is a good area of resistance, and then when we break out of that, we could have a decent momentum to the long side. So maybe we could even come back up here and can we test maybe these mid 60s, like 67, 66, maybe? But that is a one good trade. It's difficult because one hard thing about this one is that candlestick on the 5-minute has such a wide stop. A 1-to-1 would need to be up here at 66, 67. So the risk reward's not that great. Maybe there's a good argument if we could move like the stop loss sooner, like tighter sooner, then we could have a better risk reward. It's going through. Yeah, that's good. A lot of traders in here is making money, I'm assuming, because it was 68% long. Let's take a look at these markets again. Crude. You're still short NASDAQ?
Yep, still short. Kind of just hanging out above these 900s right now. I'm either going to get stopped out or this trade is going to I might move my profit target up a little bit to around 840s. So it's a little less than a 1-to-1 trade.
Why is that specifically your profit target?
Just looking at some areas where we kind of bounced from before. We have this 30-minute candle here. The high of the candle is 20,820. So looking for a potential retest of that area. But I know that we have a couple major levels in between that, right? So we have 850 that could give us some support as well. So just looking in this general area, would probably scale out of this position instead of just going all out at one spot. But yeah, just looking for the market to retest this area down here.
819. And your stop loss is above the high at 36, and this is a micro, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, let's get to some more of these questions. We'll answer some questions for 20 minutes. Then we'll do that, looking for that link in the YouTube chat. All right, it's one check-in per day. That's why it pays to join us. So there's a lot of questions that's been piling up. And so here's a question. Why gold and bonds sold off today before FOMC? I couldn't give you a solid answer. Because a lot of times I don't even know why markets move what they do on a day-to-day basis for a lot of the time. I don't know, Jay. Why did gold and bonds move the direction?
The dollar strengthen the dollar. The answer that I usually give to why is because there were more buyers than sellers or more sellers than buyers. But if you're looking for a fundamental reason, strengthen the dollar changes in the kind of geopolitical structure that we have right now with a different regime coming in,
Or
taking over.
or weakness in gold is the reason why the dollar strengthens.
Exactly. What came first?
I know, the chicken or the egg.
The chicken or the egg, right? And that's why, like, and Coach Paul and I talk about it all the time, where is it cool to know why something happened? Maybe, but is it, to me, I don't see it that important in my trading, especially for day trading, right? For swing trading and things like that, a little bit different, but for a day trade, by the time I know why, the move has probably already happened. And so I don't pay too much attention to it. So if I don't ever know the answer, that's why. It's because I'm really not looking for that information.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's so many things that someone could come up with on why, where it's like, yeah, maybe the geopolitical tension is going to be reduced. Maybe the dollar is strengthened. Maybe, I mean, is it because of the president? Is it because of the Senate? Is it because of the House? Is it because of the election? Is it because, the election's over? Is it because nothing crazy happened, right? Or all of the above. I'm not sure. All I will always say is just trading exactly what we're seeing in the markets. We trade what's in front of us, not what we think is going to happen. Because 9 times out of 10, like today, how many traders were probably trying to short this market looking for a pullback, and they get a 5-minute candle, one 5-minute candle down, and then highs, 5-minute candle down, pushing highs. That's all it was today in the afternoon after like 10 a.m. That's all it was, just chop. And you've probably seen a lot of people in chat. You've probably seen a lot of people all over online saying, we need a pullback. We're waiting for a pullback. This market should pull back. Instead of pulling back, we just kept going higher and higher and higher. And that's stressful. And regardless of what we think, the market can do whatever it wants. That's
Absolutely.
why going through a couple more of these questions. Ooh, here's a good one. Do either of you ever chase trades? Like see a setup, miss it, but it looks too good to pass and end up getting in it still? My answer would be, I don't think chasing trades would be the correct way I would say it. I would get into that trade. So for example, you're short, Coach Jay. I might consider I would get into that trade, say right now, for example. And so, yeah, It's easy to say the better entry would be a little bit higher, right? Or maybe even up here, or here. But the trade is still valid. It's just what I would give up is risk reward, right? Whether I sell it here or somewhere a little bit lower. If my target is going to be down at, say, 820, my entry, whether it's right now or somewhere lower, can still be valid. I would continue to give up my risk reward, but then at some point, we have to understand, some point during this, your trading strategy will change because of the risk rewards changing with it. Your strategy will eventually have a negative expectancy. So you got to understand at what point is the expectancy of what you're doing turns negative, right? Because I could get in here and this trade will only work, say, 3 times out of 10, and I'll still make money over the long run. But if the same exact setup happens and I'm getting in, say, a little bit lower, that same expectancy over that period of time now becomes, negative. And so understanding that is really key to trading. Well, it's not just 1-to-1 risk reward. It depends on your win trade percentage. Like how well is your setups, right? If your setups, a 50-50, then yeah, 1-to-1 is right at that mark of where it becomes negative. But then if your winning trade percentage is, greater, then you could, have a different risk reward. And so that's why we always say you can't have one without the other. Let's go through. But what about you?
Do I ever chase trades? There are some times. I think I've gotten a lot better at not doing that. and just reminding myself, just look for another opportunity. Are there times where, I just want to jump in a move? I think what that trader was asking more specifically was if this, like, let's say you were looking to get short here and this already sold off down to 840s. Like Dakota was saying, how much room, what was my expectation for the outcome of the trade? And if I was, looking for the overall move to get down to 820 and I didn't take it until 840, at that point, I'm looking at, if my risk had to go where it needs to based on market structure, it's going to cost me way too much for 20 points. So I'm probably not going to take it. But does it still happen? Yes. Does it happen as much as it did when I first started trading? Definitely not. I think over time, you kind of build the confidence to just take the setups when you see it, because it's often better than the result of chasing. So you'll just build that over time.
Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense. A few more questions. We're coming up. Time moves fast in slow markets. 13 minutes until what everyone's probably waiting for. Let's get to the man. We have a lot of questions tonight. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Part of my problem is I pass a combine in 2 days and I go to the XFA with the same mindset and it doesn't work. How have you seen that? I'm sure you've seen that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this, and I could be wrong. The trading that you're doing to pass a combine in 2 days is usually an unsustainable style of trading. I'm not sure, and everyone does it differently, right? Some people, go in a 150K account, trade 15 contracts, and hit the profit target twice. But it's usually not a sustainable type of trading. You're either taking too many trades or over leveraging, and then what's happening is, let's say it's a 150K combine, you make $9,000 in 2 days. You're conditioning yourself to expect $9,000 out of your trades in 2 days. Whether you know it or not, right? You're pushing towards a goal. And then what you want to do in the XFA is probably slow down a little bit, especially if you're speeding through the combines. And just be honest, if you're passing it in 2 days, you're speeding through it. And a lot of times what traders will say is, oh, when I get to the XFA, I'll slow down. We're all human. That's not realistic, right? If I, eat a full pound cake every day, and then I say, okay, at the end of the month, I'm going to stop eating pound cake and I'm going to get in the gym, I'm probably not going to get in the gym. Right. I'm just going to keep eating cake.
I've been there, man. I've been through that with energy drinks, right? And I see a lot of traders, just because you can pass in 2 days doesn't mean you should. I mean, in what world would anybody say, like, yeah, it's okay to open up a personal account, throw in, $3,000 in your personal account, blow it. Yeah, that's okay. Throw in another $3,000 in your personal account, blow it and blow it and blow it. That's not the goal. The goal is to learn how to trade. It's not about the money right now. Sure, the longer goal is, yes, the money, but 99% of the time it's about learning how to trade. Like, that's what it is. Like, how can I learn how to trade, and how can I learn how to make money trading, and not just come in and for lack of a better word that I don't like, gamble.
Yep. Yeah. Do you think that's what it is most of the time, right? If a trader's passing the combine that fast, they're just gambling?
Most of the time, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Especially when they've never went through that process before. Especially when they have not been in an XFA and they haven't received payouts, and then that would be different. I think the only time I could say, you know what, fair enough, is if the trader has been trading consistent on, say, XFAs. Maybe they get moved to a live account and they're still trading consistently. Like, hey, I'm going to practice a new strategy on a combine. I'm going to, practice, my regular position size, and then sure, then I could say that's valid to pass it really much quicker than normal, because they're consistent. They're just trading a strategy. They're practicing, and if they happen to trade it on that, then there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're learning to get to that point, then no way would I ever recommend or would want to see a trader try and do it.
Agreed. I agree. We see Nick for a tick do it all the time. He has a process where he just gets through a combine real quick. But Nick is also a trader that when he needs to, he is very consistent in his process and trading in that in that XFA or live account. So don't try to rush results.
Yeah. Yes. A few more questions. Then we'll get to what everyone's waiting for. I'll continue to pull it up while we're entering questions. We're watching that trade with you, Coach Jay. Markets aren't really moving too much, not like last night, that's for sure. How do you exactly, or how exactly to utilize time and cells in Topstep X for trading advantage, like the colors and 6 filter, and what does all that mean? You cover this a lot, right, Coach Jay, in your classes and what you do?
Yeah, we do. We don't talk too much about time and sales, especially because the market's closed by the time we're doing at the buzzer. But basically, the way I'm looking at time and sales is just the pulse of the market. Obviously, in simple terms, and this is not what it is, but I'm looking at red as selling, green as buying. A lot of times I'll put a filter on. Maybe I'll put a 6 lot filter on, and I'm just looking at how orders are getting filled on this tape, right? If I don't have level 2 data on this account here, but if I see a 100 lot somewhere, I want to see whether or not that 100 lot gets traded out, or did they pull the order, or things like that. So I'm going to read time and sales for that. But it's just getting a pace and a pulse of the market.
Pace and pulse, and it goes a lot more detailed than that, though, right? And that's what you
It
cover,
does.
and that's part of why being in the Discord community has been so useful, because there's a lot of traders who use just that, and you can have those conversations that could go more and more in depth, and you guys could talk about strategies. I see you guys talking about it all the time. I hop in there every once in a while and just watch and read, and I'm learning, which is really nice to do, because I could jump in there. It's free. I enjoy whenever I have a little bit of free time, I'll be doing that, and like, all right, what is this? And then you're in there talking and answering questions, and it's a beautiful thing. That's why I say I love these check-ins that we've been doing, to where it's rewarding the traders who are active in the community and who's able to check in more, because like we were saying early, sometimes it's more about the coachability rather than, I'm just going to show up, I'm going to check in, I'm going to, say win a spot for a VIP session, or I'm going to win a spot on one of these, exclusive coaching ones. And then you don't do anything with it. You don't show up, you don't come prepared. And, that is something that I'm a little bit nervous of, Coach Jay, is I'm going to be having this, and I'm going to take it extremely serious, where you show up, and I'm going to expect you to show up and be ready and be prepared to ask questions. Don't be showing up to like the class without any question that's prepared. Last thing I'm going to tolerate would be you show up to the class and say, what's a 3-bar reversal? That would be frustrating on my end, because this is exclusive to only 20 traders, and I'm not going to waste 19 traders' time answering one trader's question of what a 3-bar reversal is. Now, I explain it a lot, and I'm really open to questions here in my slow markets, and we're sitting here and we're answering a lot of questions, which I enjoy, and I encourage those very basic questions, which is good. Everyone that is joining is new. I've seen a few new traders that is in the chat, and I love answering those questions. Like, what's a 3-bar reversal? That's a great question. It's a new question. What is a candlestick? Maybe we could start talking about some very basics, and that's good. However, what you guys see on the screen is a lot more exclusive, and more serious questions need to be asked and answered, and looking out. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Maybe I'm going to be a little stricter than some of your other coaches and yourself, Coach Jay. And then I'm going to do a follow-up. And I think that's going to be how I do the VIP session as well.
Yeah, I think, and Dakota, you make a good point. Come prepared, come with questions. Do a little bit of research, and we don't want to say, there's any, there are stupid questions, because there's not, but there is some level of, and I think this goes for everyone, right? We have traders. I get a daily question as well. How do I anchor view up? And I'll explain it, especially on, at the buzzer. But I also want to encourage sometimes traders to kind of explore their platforms on their own, because you might find something that I don't even know of, right? I think when we try to find exact answers for things, sometimes you're kind of limiting yourself by not doing a little exploration. So don't be afraid to just click around sometimes, right? As long as you're not clicking the buy or sell button, don't be afraid to click around on your platforms and figure things out. And I think that's how we get more comfortable and we improve. Like the time and sales question.
Yeah.
I hear Rip say it all the time. Traders are like, oh, how do I use time and sales? Just look at it. And you'll start to identify patterns the same way you identify patterns on a 3-minute chart, on a 5-minute chart. Just do a little bit of exploration. Go ahead, Dakota.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like bare minimum, take 10 minutes to look up your own question before coming in and asking it. Like, I think that's going to be the fairest I'll be able to do. Like, hey, what is a 3-bar reversal? You just go over here. You see my Google. You see my YouTube or my Google Chrome, and you just type in, what is a 3-bar reversal? And then here's an example. This is what I explain all the time, right? That took 30 seconds. So something as simple as that is what should be expected from traders, new traders who are beginning to learn how to trade and just starting. And so, yeah, something very, very simple. And so when I'm holding a class like this, or a VIP that you're going to be working with, that you work with Coach Jay, or that I'm going to be doing, that is the bare minimum expectation that I will be doing. And you'd be surprised on how much you could learn from a simple Google.
There's a lot out there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bankroll. Just passed the combine. Took 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Trade well in that XFA. Trade well in that XFA. I see you're very excited in the chat right now. It says, you guys are making me a proper trader. Trade well, right? Don't discredit the work that you've done yourself. And no rush to make profits. Just continue trading well.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Oh, and there it is. There it is, guys. There is that link. I'm going to go ahead and pin it. It's going to be active until the end of class. I know that's what everyone was waiting for. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that one. There it is. There's 2 of them. Oh, I'm struggling to pin this. There it is. All right, there it is. Check in. Continue every single night this night. The more you're here, the better it is. Moving forward, how is this trade working out for you on the NASDAQ? I'm sitting here watching it, and it's
just kind of sitting in the middle of this opening range, not really doing anything. Not one that I'm going to watch. Again, I will let this either stop me out or hit my profit target. I'm okay either way.
Okay, perfect. Well, keep me updated if the markets are moving. Let's get to some of these statistics. Traders have already put the statistics in there. I like that you guys are starting to put a description. Now that you're putting descriptions, it makes it really nice. When I look at them, I'll go through them, Coach Jay, and I'll heart the ones that I'm going to look at. And the very first one is going to be the one I look at right there. Let's see if I could pull it up. XFAs are preferred. Let's take a look at this one. This trader's been in since October. This is an XFA, which means you're qualified for a payout once you get 5 days of $200 each. So you have that opportunity to start taking payouts and paying yourself in an XFA. Let me know if you see it, Coach Jay. Yep.
XFA ending in 0020.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. I can see
So
it.
going through this, the first thing I notice is kind of an upside down risk reward, but that's fine. You'll still have a positive expectancy because look at the trade win percentage. There's here's an example of both of these mean just as much, right? You can't have a great risk reward and be profitable unless you know what the trade win percentage is. So like that, you're up money. You seeing anything, Coach Jay? I'm just going to scroll through that.
I see consistency.
Yeah, so do I. Trade directions long. I like that.
Are we looking at the same report?
I'm looking at, I see the trade direction percentage is 82% long. It's the XFA ending in
yeah, I got
0020. And not too bad. Maybe you're journaling. Looks like this trader hasn't had a losing day. No losing days. So that I think it's sometimes when we see these, sometimes at least when I see these, I'm curious on what the drawdown is on some of these trades. If you have a daily loss limit,
that's a good question.
It's always scary because sometimes traders do this.
Look at October 30th.
Let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, that could get scary, right? Down almost $600 and then brought it back. Not too bad. This is a good example we were talking about earlier, Coach Jay, where this is a great trade. Like this is great statistics. You're making money. We're just being pretty critical to see what are we seeing. What are we expecting based off of us reviewing plenty of statistics. And typically, what I see, Jay, is that when you do have a losing day, not this person, but typically a trader with these type of statistics who just, win, and don't have, a losing day. Sometimes those losing days are so bad, it wipes out an entire week, if not more.
Right. My one question for this trader would be, especially seeing, these days that go into drawdown and then end positive, obviously no losing days here. What does a losing day look like? When it does happen, right? Where you've had a couple days where you're $500 in the drawdown and you're doing some great trading to dig out of that hole and end positive every day. But when it does eventually happen, because no one is going to be 100% forever. If you could do this for the next year straight, amazing. But that eventual time where you do lose, what does that look like? And just plan for it. If it's a personal daily loss limit that we don't know of, great. But just have a plan for it when it happens.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Let's keep going on. We're going to try and get through a bunch of these. This is one. This is a Combine account ending in 584. The very next one, Coach Jay. And just you were so close, almost passing, but you ended up blowing this account. So I'm going to try and just be brief. 1 day in this account is not enough. Trading too big. Maybe 2 days in this account. Look, 1, 2, you tried to pass in 2 days. This is a good example where you're just trading too big of a size. This is a 50K account, it looks like, and you're trading really big. Look, you're trading minis. I don't think you should be trading minis in a 50K account, especially if you're learning to be consistent, because this is what happens. Blown your account in just 1 day, right? You're doing good. One bad day, the account's blown.
Yeah, this is the perfect example of plan what that losing day looks like. Where there really wasn't one. It looks like maybe a little bit of frustration where, guys, if you don't realize trading is pressure at all times, no matter what, even if you're doing really well, you're under pressure at all times in your trading. Don't alleviate that pressure by just blowing your account. Just deal with it. Learn how to process it. If it gets to be too much and you're stressed out because, you want to pass this thing, take some time off. You don't have to trade. But days like this where it's just like you almost get kind of apathetic. You're just like, oh, whatever, this thing is too hard. I'm just going to, throw a bunch of contracts on and see what works. Give yourself a little bit of a better chance to succeed than that. It's easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, we just seen somebody in the chat saying that it's been 2 years and they finally passed, right? So it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I would much rather see somebody break even for a full month of trading than someone just go through and pass it in 2 days. Sure, it's great. It's a great feeling to pass in 2 days, but what are you going to do after those 2 days? Do you have that confidence to be consistent, right? Or like, that's not a good enough sample size to have that confidence to keep going and trading like this. So the best advice here, and I think Andrew put in the chat, number one, trick to pass combines. Quit trying to pass in 2 days. That's There it is. Trick number two is smaller size. Smaller size.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on to the next. I'm going to keep moving on. We're going to get through as many as we can because I think that's only fair. We still have 20 minutes. Going to move on to that very next one, Coach J, ending in 617. This is an XFA since October.
Nice.
Let's look through all of this. Looks like you've been in here for probably 3 weeks. Great. This is a good one. Up $6,800, close to a 1-to-1, a little bit under a 1-to-1 risk reward, but great win percentage. You can see a really nice profit factor. 50-50 on the trade direction and almost an hour for the average trade duration. What are you seeing there?
I really like this report. I'm looking at the first. I just went to the one losing day on the account. And I like the way that this trader closed this day. It's the one losing day. You're down $25. And at one point you were up 400, took a couple trades. And it looks like in one trade gave all of the profit back. And then you just shut it down and didn't continue to trade. And ideally we don't want to do that, right? Ideally we don't want to give back all the profits on the day, but you didn't turn that into a catastrophic day. You said, you know what? I'm done. And I'm looking at the time actually. Maybe you ran out of time because you closed the eventual losing trade at 4:02 Eastern time. So markets were closed. We could still trade, for a couple of minutes in Topstep accounts. So maybe it was, you got kind of saved by the bell there. But either way, you didn't turn it into a catastrophic day, right? $25 losing day happens.
Yeah. You can see where he was in this trade and pretty close to auto liquidation. He closed it himself.
Yep.
Which, this is a winning day for me. I would be happy with a day like this, right?
Yeah.
$25 commissions, and then you've been putting up really nice days. These other ones. The only thing I see is this probably that losing day is you held on to the loser. I mean, it looks like your losers are on the higher end, right? So cutting your winners short, holding on to your losers, which I think that's kind of what happened in that case on this day, right? This was a 1 hour trade that ended up being negative, and then this one was, over an hour trade that was negative as well. And so, you can't argue with money, but if there's any critique, I think that's what it is. Like you said, Coach Jay.
Look at the 30th, Dakota. I think there's something about the 30th. This is second trader in a row. We're looking at October 30th.
Minus $2,200, and then you grinded your way out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is letting your losers run. Not cutting your losers. Like, you look like you entered that trade at it looks like 4:11, and then you closed it, almost 4 hours later. And that's the same with this, like 3 contracts on gold. Looks like you entered it once, then twice, and then you just try to get in for the third time, as it was going against you, maybe a little bit. Yeah, then you ended up just being forced out of it. But good for you for just at least closing it out and not letting it hit your day loss limit, and then you came back. Interesting.
I got a question for you, Dakota, and I wanted to know how you would answer this because I had a VIP ask me this yesterday, and I think it's similar to what we're talking about here with this trade report. Let me see if I can find this question. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you do that.
Yep.
I'm going to look at a few other statistics as well. I'll go through. Here's another one. You find that question. I'll run
Yep.
through this one real quick. Here's another XFA, October 28th. It looks like. Just do it from there. And $6,800. This is another great one. Looks like this trader is eligible for a payout, maybe. 1-to-1 risk reward, a little bit. Almost identical to what I was just watching. Let me go through. Or is this the same one? Oh, this is the same one. Let me move on to the next one. That was the same one. Let's going through these.
All right, Dakota, I found it.
Okay,
So
hit me with
had this trader asking, and we talked about planning what that loss looks like for yourself. So this trader is trying to determine what they're going to set their max loss limit to, and they said it's a 100K XFA that they're starting out. They want to set their max loss limit to $100, and risking $200 to $300 a trade. I said maybe to start, especially because this trader has never taken a payout before, maybe using a max loss limit of $400 and scaling down until you build a bit of a buffer in that account. And the trader says the lower max loss limit doesn't give me the room to get out of a drawdown if I'm in one. How would you respond to that?
Oh man, can you send it to me? Are you able to
Yeah.
copy and
Yeah,
paste?
I got you. Yep,
Yeah,
I'll send it to you.
Maybe if I read it myself. While you do that, I'll switch it to your charts, Coach Jay. Yeah, let me read that question. I want to make sure it's clear. That seems like a
just sent you the conversation. And it's just it's a conversation about establishing a max loss limit, and maybe needing more. Go ahead.
a daily loss limit or max loss limit.
A personal daily loss limit.
Okay. Yeah. We're sharing your chart. If you want to do a statistic on there, or if you're still in that trade or see something, I'm going to take a moment and read this.
Okay. Looking at gold right now, I know we were talking about longs in gold here. We are kind of holding this session VWAP right now. So if you're long, if I was long off this bottom, I would be looking for a potential take profit. This is technically a short signal for my setup in gold, where we're kind of holding this VWAP and again risking new highs. I'd be looking for a trade down to 2650 potentially.
Yeah, we had a lot of traders in long gold, huh?
Yep.
I'm curious if they're still in it. Who's still in it, or who took profit on that gold trade? And I read that.
Skylar Cole saying I'm still long 2652. You read through that, Dakota?
Yeah. I think I understand that conversation. So essentially, the way I understood it is like you're recommending a $400 daily loss limit, and they're wanting a $700 daily loss limit to start the XFA. And they're like, no, 400 is too tight. I want 700, so it gives me room. So that way, if I do get into a drawdown, I could build out of it, right?
Yep.
Okay. So my response would be to how big of an XFA would it be? If it's a 50K account, then I would say
it's a 100K account. 100K account where the max loss limit is $3,000.
Okay. Max loss limit is 3,000, and they're wanting a $700 daily loss limit. So that gives them like 3.5 days, really. Yeah, I think a 400 is reasonable. And if you cannot, of course, you're not going to be able to have that as a daily loss limit for minis, right? You need to slow down and use micros, and $400 is plenty for trading micros. I mean, like I say all the time, I've been saying it, a lot more lately than I ever have been, is process over profits. Don't think you shouldn't be arguing about a daily loss limit. I mean, you should be able to focus on the process, regardless of how big your daily loss limit is. Like, okay, this is a daily loss limit that's could be good. Let's try this out. I'm going to try this daily loss limit for a couple weeks. And based off of this daily loss limit, I'm going to trade this many micros, and I'm going to look for this. And then, if you could do that pretty well for a couple weeks, then then you're fine, and you should have that confidence to say, okay, now I could increase my daily loss limit, I could increase my size, do it again, and then again, and then again, and again. It's process over profits.
And what I would say to that, and I think we have some traders saying it in the chat as well. Well, the $400 may be too close to the trader's, max loss per trade. The max loss per trade is only set there because of the amount of contracts that you're trading, right? If I have a max loss per trade with a one lot mini, the amount of points available for that trade are a lot less than if I had a max loss per trade on a one lot micro.
Yeah.
So like you said, the answer is trading the smaller contract until you can build that buffer. And then get to there.
Yep, I agree. That's always a good answer. Man, these markets are super slow tonight.
Yeah, they are.
Let's get to one more statistic and get to a few more questions. I think we could call it an evening after that. Remember, guys, that check-in form is still pinned to the top of the chat for the group coaching or the private Topstep labs. Yeah, so ask us anything. Let's get to some questions. Do we see any other good statistic that we want to review before ending it here? I actually not seeing anything too crazy. There's that one. Yeah. Oh, let's look at this one. I'm gonna heart it. Yeah, the one was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that one.
Same one? Okay.
Same one. This is a man after my own heart in terms of the trade win percentage. This is a trader, not a man. This is a trader where, look at this, trade winning percentage. You're only winning 34% of your trades and still profitable because of this, because of your risk reward. 2.62 for a risk reward and still making money. I love this. I like to see this where you can have, less accuracy, but higher.
Dakota, you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, man.
You're sharing my screen.
There we go. There it is. So there it is. 34.48% for the win trading percentage. You're losing, 65% of your trades and you're only winning 34 and you're still profitable. And so there's a beautiful example of 2.62% risk reward. So risk reward, winning trade percentage go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. If you've seen and you share this, like you take a screenshot of your winning trade percentage and say, tell me whether this trader is a winner or a loser, I guarantee you on social media, they're going to just be like, oh man, this trader must be losing. They're not that great.
Yep.
You look at your winning trade percentage, you lose this. And it's like, no, in reality, this trader has a beautiful equity curve and is making money because of the risk reward. And so it drives me crazy when I hear traders only talk about one of these stats where it's like, oh my gosh, I win 90% of the time. Look at my strategy. I'm a 90%. I'm a winner in this and this. And it's like, well, can we take a more in-depth look and let's really see, right? Because they usually have like a 0.5 or less. And so you can't really have one without the other. Here's a beautiful example of why this matters.
Yeah, love the hold times here.
Yeah, almost 2 hours.
2 hours on the hold times. Trading a bunch of different products. I saw some Japanese yen trade that's in there. I saw some Nikkei, gold, crude. That's, how I like to trade as well. Not all just one product. If you're seeing opportunity in other places, taking it. So this is really good stuff. Eligible for a payout. So take one if you haven't already. Make sure you pay yourself. But this is good.
Yeah. Talking about that hold time, that probably is why this trader has such a high risk reward. Look at some of these winning trades, up to 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours. And I know Mick from the risk team always likes to say this, is catching a piece of the trend, right? Catching a piece of the trend. And you do that by holding your winners a lot longer. And so I like that trade direction. Long more times than not so far, which is good to see. Struggling the past week though. Not all winning days. We could see that. I could see that, which is good. Even basically a scratch day. looks very similar to that one where you've made $57, you were up, and then you just called it quits. That's discipline right there. Let's take a look at these losing days. Let's go through $1,500 losing day, and then the $500 losing day. That was almost down to $1,500, and then you finished on a positive note. That's pretty hard to do as well, Coach Jay.
It is
Just end the day on negative. I think this is similar to that other trader where it looks like you just closed it out just because it was at the end of the trading session.
But yeah, if you look at that last trade, that was a trade that they held almost 4 hours. Long gold just held it into the close, where it looks like you tried to get long gold a couple times before that, and then you finally got the one that broke out.
Is this the dollar yen?
6J, yeah. Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, see, you could trade Forex here at Topstep. I personally just don't, but there's currency futures. You used, I think I seen you place a Japanese yen trade once.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's a really nice market to trade. I got to shout out Coach Paul for bringing it to my attention. He was pretty much short the yen all year.
Really?
Yeah, not even joking. But it's a great market to trade.
Man, what did he do? Hold it short for like a long term, short it, or was he just?
Yeah, he's been talking about this short yen since October of last year, and has just either taken it in a swing trade, taken it for some day trades. It's been a really, really nice market.
Man, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about futures, right? Is we have the opportunity to trade, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell. We could trade gold, silver. We could trade Bitcoin. We could trade currencies like dollar, yen, euro, dollar. And so we're not just restricted to one instrument. And I think that's something a lot of traders kind of don't realize. They get very tunnel vision where they're talking about futures, NASDAQ. It's so crazy. But no, we there's so much, and you're the one, I think, out of anybody who trades and has looked at all these different products, right? We're talking about cattle, talk about lean hogs, talk about like every market that you guys could imagine. I don't even know the entire list, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a big list. Do you need to trade everything? You don't. I know you trade mostly NASDAQ. You'll trade a couple of different products. We have Isaac, who's been on, and he says he only trades the S&Ps and does really well in it, right? I think finding what works for you, I think the reason I'll look for different markets is because I'll try to force an opportunity in a market that is not presenting one. So I'll just look for what the setup looks like, right? Coach Paul calls it the DNA of a trade. I'm looking for that DNA wherever it's presenting itself, and it may not be in the market that I look at every day.
Yeah, yep. And I think it just shows you we have so many traders around the world. We have so many different styles of trading, so many different traders that come from different backgrounds. You don't have to be trading the NASDAQ to be profitable. You don't have to be trading the NASDAQ to be at Topstep. You could come from anywhere. I know that I talked to even a lot more lately, a lot of currency traders. And it's like, I just want to find a safe place to trade that I can know I'm going to, receive the money that I request, and I don't have to worry about a rug puller being scammed, and I know that I'm with a reputable company. It's like, well, Topstep does have futures. We don't talk about it a lot, but that is here, right? You don't have to worry, and there's a lot of turmoil for a long period of time in the Forex market and trying to find a place. And so that's a beautiful thing. It's also open, just as long, right? From, 5 p.m. Central until the close, until 4 p.m. Central. And then, it's a great place to be. Last question, and I'll let you answer this one, Coach Jay. Tom Hogarth,
Okay.
which I've learned about relatively recently, and I was watching some of his videos, and he's a great trader. Talks about letting your winners run and cutting your losses fast. This is something I struggle with. Any recommendations on cutting losses?
Yeah, if the market is presenting new information to you that invalidates the trade, then I think it's okay to cut the loss early. Um,
Mhm.
I think allowing the trades to allowing the market the space to, do its normal market fluctuations, as long as your stop is based on some type of market structure. Sometimes we have to give it the time. I think you have to determine what type of trader that you are. If you're a momentum trader, you're probably not going to love a whole lot of slow markets trades, because in this NASDAQ trade, I've been in this trade for over an hour. Why am I holding on onto this? Because I need to get more comfortable myself with holding on to trades, right? I can take a 5-minute NASDAQ trade, no problem. I can take a 30-minute NASDAQ trade, no problem. 8, 10, 12 hours for day trades. Swing trades is a little different, but for day trades, I need to build that as well. If you want to cut a trade prior to the market structure that you defined, I would say there needs to be some new information that changes that trade idea. For me, why haven't I gotten out of this NASDAQ short? This VWAP is still below this opening range, and the trade is still valid. If this VWAP was up here, the trade is invalid. Do I want to take it off? Maybe. But as long as the trade is still valid, I think try to hold on to it. What would you say about that, Dakota?
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. That's why there is a practice account. That's why we go through these combines, and it's okay to have to trade one style in one way, and then maybe you want to practice a different one while you're trading that one, and it's okay. It's one of the hardest things trading is cutting your losses short and letting your winners run. It's a huge psychological thing, but yeah, great evening. It's been a great class with you, Coach Jay. Brother Devin, yeah, I think there's a lot of traders that is in a similar situation as yourself. I've seen it come and go. I've seen many situations similar to that. It's just one of those things in this industry and in many industries that, new shiny object, it attracts a lot of, people to it because it sounds so great. And then, they've always come back to something that's reliable. And I think it's the same with anything in a lot of aspects, right? Not just in this industry, but in many, where sometimes
Chasing
it's just
the shiny
better to
object.
just go with the proven, what's right? I mean, I'm trying to think of an example. There's so many examples and so many things that I can say or talk about, but I just have to watch what I say, and I don't want to go through and go down any rabbit hole.
uh, some of the altcoins in crypto, right? That's the example, right? Chasing some of those.
Oh,
Somebody came in the chat the other day and talked about like magical rhino coin or something like that, and I was just like, I don't know what that is, but I'm not even gonna look it up.
and
Don't
then they
chase
all go back
the
to
shiny
Bitcoin,
object.
right?
Exactly. Don't chase the shiny object.
Yeah, there's been many altcoins come and go, and usually there's just a handful of good, dependable ones out there, and it's just nice knowing like I'm gonna put in all this time and hard work and effort to get funded and to make money, to have that peace of mind knowing that if you're successful and you're putting in that hard work and you're able to do that, you're going to have that confidence to know, hey, I'm going to actually get what I made, right? I mean, could you imagine you open up a brokerage account at we talk about Robinhood or Interactive Brokers, and you put in money and you invest and you trade and you try and do a withdraw and you can't even withdraw your own money. We seen that in 2008, right? Like everyone's
Right.
making a run for a bank. I mean, could you imagine everybody if you have your money in a bank and you go to the bank and ask for your money and they tell you no? Like that
Yeah.
is just insane to me. You bank at the banks that you have the trust in, and so yeah, why not do the same when it comes to many of your aspects to what you're doing? So I think I'm going to leave it at that, right at 9 p.m. So everybody, if you guys missed it, there is that not the VIP, the Topstep Labs in the YouTube chat. It was a good one. Tomorrow's FOMC. Are you going to be on the day show at all tomorrow?
Nope. I am off for the rest of the week except for at the buzzer. So I will be watching. I'll be in the chat. What about you?
No. Nope. I'm off until Friday. Well, I actually tomorrow night, of course, tomorrow night, and then Friday morning. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be crazy. FOMC is going to be absolutely crazy. Just as volatility. We had the election yesterday and last night. Throughout to this morning, we've seen what that did to the markets. So tomorrow could be more of the same, and then we're going to finish it off with Friday, and Fridays can be pretty crazy as well. And then maybe next week we could see a market that's settled down. But yeah, summer trading is over, and risk management needs to always be at the top of the priority list.
Remember that we do have jobless claims before the open tomorrow as well.
Yeah. Yep. Perfect. Any last words, Coach Jay?
I think that's it. Manage your risk, trade well.
Okay. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Bye.